All right, boss. You introduce yourself.
You just whatever.
Introduce yourself. It's on.
What's up, y'all? It's the Imperial Sir Jinx. I'm from California, Los Angeles. I'm a producer, DJ. You know, that's what I like to do. You know, I've been doing it almost 35 years, going back to '85. That's when we got our first record deal. But I've been in it since I was like 12 years old. Like, I would say, like, really wanting to be in the music industry and be in this rap game.
All right. Bring it back to where it all started for you.
Excuse me?
Bring it back to where it all started for you. How you got introduced to the game?
Well, how I got introduced to the game is how what hip hop started. Because hip hop started, it just didn't start one way. It was like 4 different explosions that happened at one time. And I was into the art at first, you know, but I was into the music, but the art and the music didn't connect until later. So I was always an artist as a kid. And then I started doing the music, and then the music, well, actually, I started being a dancer, and then the music, the dancing, and the art all came about with me being in the music industry. So they all came together like later, like kind of weird. But I've been doing it for a minute, and I think I did all the what do you call it, the elements. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop was something that definitely changed my life, and I think made it for the better. You know what I'm saying? I think rap music has saved a lot of people's life on on the way we came up. You know, rap music a little bit different now, but that's how I came up with doing graffiti and breakdancing, DJing, and rapping. Because at first the DJ was the rapper at some point. You know?
What was the energy back then? The lifestyle, the reception, how people was looking at this culture, not knowing that the culture is being born.
They really didn't know, because in the beginning, like you go back to the '70s, and rap music was goofy. You know what I'm saying? It was like a bootleg R&B. You know, at first, because we didn't in high school and stuff like that. We were in band. We play instruments, but the way the world went, they took all the instruments and they took all the stuff out of the high schools, and then it made rap music different, you know, because we wasn't really making the music. We was just sampling the music because we didn't really know how to play the music. So the R&B and rock music and, you know, and country, they didn't really take us serious. So, and in them days, you know, you had your George Clintons, you know, you had your Gap bands and, you know, your Earth, Wind and Fires. They were serious. So to say that you was in the music game, they'll laugh at you, you know, especially with the streets and gang members and stuff like that. They're like, you're never gonna make it. Like it was a fluke. Like, that's a fluke. You're never gonna make it. Don't even believe in that. So to keep going in it, it just started being the soundtrack to our era. Because at first it was, you know, like I said, the parliaments and stuff like that, and you know, the voyeurs and stuff like that was the soundtrack to us getting into it. When we start actually making our own soundtrack, then we start having our own identity, where it came from, you know, the New York, you know, and then LA kind of picked it up a little bit. And then at that point, when we started having our own soundtrack, it was crazy. It was like having your own video game that you knew how to play only, you know, depending on how good you were at all the elements. Because if you were good at DJing, then you were good at breakdancing, and then, you know, the other kind of pop locking and stuff like that. So you had to be intuitive of all these things, and they all came together to make hip hop. You know, it wasn't just one thing that made hip hop. So if we was losing over here with the music, then we start winning over here with the fashion. Or we start winning over here with, you know, with all the elements that come with hip hop. Yeah. And then everybody started taking us serious.
Because somebody else was saying that, you know, I mean, the West Coast has won And something else that the East Coast didn't have back then.
What do you mean?
The movies.
The movies.
South Central, Boys in the Hood.
Nah, they did have movies. Wild Style, come on, man. They had Beat Street. They had
But these West Coast movies were more legendary, though.
Well, it depends. You can't say that because I'm about the culture. So when you go back to the Warriors and you go back to those kind of movies, they did have movies. They did have Crush Groove. They did have those movies. So the West Coast have movies, but East Coast did have movies. You know.
Okay.
A lot of movies, but a lot of the movies didn't get the same kind of notoriety that Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society or Colors or South Central, because that was a movement that was happening. When you look at the guys from like the Warriors and stuff, that was like they underground kind of situation. But that situation didn't take off in rap. The situation that we did took off. So it was a part of like the gang banging and all that became a part in LA to where, well, in the West Coast, to where a lot of that behavior that they was doing back a long time ago kind of fell off, you know, that kind of way of thinking. Then they start having drug dealers. And the drug dealers changed how rap looked in the East Coast, I think. I know.
What has hip hop done for Jinx?
What has hip hop done for me? Hip hop definitely gave me a voice to where, like I said, with trying to compete with other genres of music, it gave me a voice to be able to express myself through music, or express myself through graffiti, or express myself in expression through dancing or something like that. So hip hop definitely gave me a voice to be able to converse without using the master's voice. I learned how to talk. We learned how to talk to each other without the same words that will get us in trouble. You know what I mean? We learned how to have a conversation with ourselves. So that's what it really, you know, that's what it done to me. And it done, you know, for my friends and a lot of my friends. I don't know if a lot of people can say this, but a lot of my friends sold 1 million records. You know, that's kind of weird, you know, my childhood friends. So it all gave us a way out.
What do you think about hip hop and politics, like the government politics?
Well, what the government thinks, well, how the government treats the politics. I mean, well, the government and politics with rap is the same thing I was just saying. And they didn't want us to have a voice. So anytime you have a voice and you want to, you know, make something right.
Yeah. Because why I asked you that, because where I'm from, you got some rappers that think that you have to be a rapper / activist for your music or your voice to be heard. You agree on that?
It depends on where you're coming from. Like, some people are different when they deal with using political issues to, because they complaining too. So it's just like rap music ain't just for the street to complain on each other. We can complain on the system. You feel me? So where you come from, yeah, you got / rappers / activists, and out here you got conscious rappers. So you got conscious rappers. You got they don't like being called that, but some people do it, but not that. But backpack rappers, you know what I'm saying? So everybody was a little bit different when to express yourself when it comes to having good lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference between being a conscious rapper and an activist rapper?
An activist rapper, I would think, is going against the system, and a conscious rapper is more or less teaching you about yourself and teaching you more of what we are as humans. And we're just not a product that white people can make money off of. You know what I'm saying? That's what the conscious take the edge off a little bit. You know, and the activists definitely make you want to revert. What is it? Revolt. Make you want to revolt. It gives you a certain kind of energy. So when you look at Tribe Called Quest, you would look at them more as conscious. And then you look at NWA and Public Enemy, they're more activists. They were talking about the problems of the system, and the backpack with Conscious with Latifah and stuff like that. They was more or less to build ourselves up to be beautiful, rather than doing what the white man think we look like. You know what I'm saying? They thought we looked a certain kind of way, and conscious people didn't want to look that way.
Hip hop saves Black America. Yes or no?
Hip hop saved Black America? That's a good question. That's a good question. And I'm a part of black hip hop and black music. It gave us a voice, so I would say yes. I would definitely say the rap music has changed the perception of black people. Because back in the day, you go look at Magic Johnson and, you know, people that was basketball guys, and if they was acting like, you know, the Spinners or whoever they was acting like, but now all the athletes act like rappers. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, yes, rap music has changed for Black America. It has given us a voice. We didn't have a voice. At first, our only voice was talking about, you know, with the old guys of being in love, and, you know, well, you still got your Marvin Gaye's and stuff like that, but those songs wasn't as mainstream as the other songs. So when the rap came, then those views became mainstream. And the problems, the dope thing that I thought was dope about hip hop, and it's something that me and you talked about, is that rap music, when we started putting it out, it wasn't that it was that dope to me. It was that everybody was going through the same thing. So it wasn't like we was competing lyrically. It was just crazy that you'll go to Memphis or you'll go to Houston, and we ain't never met, but we got the same problems with the police everywhere. So everybody had a view of how they wanted to look at it. So yes, when we came, well, it's not we, but when NWA came with "Fuck the Police," that would be something that you could never get a record deal for. So yes, I had to think about it. But there's a good and a bad with it, you know. There's good and bad.
Okay.
A gift and a curse sometimes.
Yeah. How important the lyrics are to Jinx?
Lyrics are very important. Lyrics, most of the guys, all the guys that I like have a way of rapping. And I always look at rap like ultimate fighting. Like some people are good front thrust kicks, some people good roundhouses, some people are good with uppercuts, some people are different. Everybody don't have to be the same. But lyrics, when you say that, it doesn't necessarily mean lyrical miracle. Because you have a lyrical miracle. That's the dudes that use 4 and 5 syllables, you know. But then you'll have one rapper that use 1 syllable, but the subject matter is real. You know what I'm saying? So I like, it can vary. I'm very open. Everybody don't have to be an MMA rapper, you know, to win. You just have to be convincing. And if you're convincing with your style, it means something to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like playing around. And when I'm in the studio, I don't like playing around, you know? And then most people think that's being mean to the artist. But at the end of the day, don't waste my fucking time with you writing bullshit. Like, shout out to my homeboy Brother Jay from X Clan, and I let Brother Jay hear raps. I let him hear stuff, and he's like, "Oh, that dude fell off on the 4th bar. Like he didn't mean that." You know what I'm saying? I'm sure everybody understands. You hear a person rhyme and they do it, and it's at the end of the rhyme because I mean to. Like for real. 16 bars and I mean to is the end of it, like, you know. So we really talk about that and really want to instill that in the product that we put out, I can't control what everybody else do, but lyrics definitely mean something when it comes to my music.
Is it important today to be signed on a major label?
No, it's not. It's not important to be signed on a major label, but it is important to have guidance. And when artists say you don't need a major label, you kind of get away from the structure of guidance. And people used to hate the A&R guy, but the A&R guy stopped a lot of bullshit rap from coming out. That's what I think. But if you don't have guidance, it's more than just being a rapper or more than being a singer. It's more than being an actor. You have to have talent, and then you have to have a talent agent. You have to have a lawyer. You have to have these things. And being independent is very hard to find that when you're not spending somebody else's money. And when you have a record deal, you're spending somebody else's money and they're going to want it back. So you have to learn a certain process to, to be in the music industry, because it's almost like all of us right now saying, we're going to make our own NFL. Fuck that. You think they're going to come to the game? Right. But you would do better if you were signed to the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Basketball or football. You'd be better. You can do your weekend league and make 10 touchdowns, but if nobody don't see you do it, then I think the guidance comes from being signed to a record label and being under a structure. And you can leave that structure, but it's hard to get that structure when you just selling records out the back of your car. It's kind of harder to do that.
Tell us about the impact of the Bloods and Crips in LA with hip hop. I mean, in hip hop, because some rappers are gang affiliated, and they taking shot for it.
They taking what?
They taking shots for it. Like, they've been threatened, to be a rapper / Blood or the rapper / Crip. You know what I mean? I mean, very few people really made it out of gang affiliation to still be here for a minute.
Right.
Somebody like Snoop is a Crip, and everybody know that, and he's still
Right.
here. And even though well respected by Crips and Blood,
Right.
because he knows the code.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this, and I hope this don't offend nobody. But there, y'all can take it how you want to take it. But at the end of the day, you can be a Crip or a Blood, but this is not called the Crip or Blood business. It's called the music business. So if you're not entertaining and you're using the Crip or Blood to sell your records, that's not good. So when you look at a brother like Snoop Dogg is actually entertaining, and he's not pushing that for you to like him. So when a rapper pushes a gang for you to like him, then he lacks substance. And this is how I feel. There's a lot of people that can rap, but are you tougher? Are you better at being entertaining? So there's two things. You can be tough, but are you entertaining? And the people that are gangsters, that are entertainers, are not labeled gangsters. They're labeled rappers or entertainers. But a person that's not really good at the structure, then they're using a base situation to get respect from. So back in the day, the rap, the gangster stuff, and the rap stuff, they wasn't together. But now a lot of rappers are using the gangster stuff so they can't get ridiculed. So you can't get better if you beat people up if they don't like your rhyme. So back in the day, you couldn't do that. You had to be entertaining. So Snoop did come from a place where he was a gang member, straight up. But he also was very entertaining, even at the beginning. And you can't teach people that. You can teach a person how to be a gang member, but you can't teach them how to be entertaining.
What do you think about what's going on today in the rap music? Because hip hop today, after 40 plus years, like I was saying, is the only thing that the whole world has in common.
Right.
Every
I like
45 years, We have a new wave of artists coming.
Right.
New sound, new touch, new style, new way of dressing. We've reached
Right.
out to a point where today the respect is not there no more. The creativity is not there no more. The message is gone. That's why we're trying to bring it back to the source.
Right.
Not to tell these youngest to rap like Kumo D or LL, but to do their research because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, they are the one holding the flag right now, but the flag is on the floor
Right.
with the type of music that is being put
Well,
out there.
I just think the system changes the music. And as the equipment changes and technology changes and it makes it easier, when they start making music easier, then anybody can do it. So they don't have the same respect for it if you bust your knuckles up. Now you learn how to fight without busting your knuckles up, you're going to fight anybody. But in the back in the day, you had to feel the pain of not having the technology. So with the technology being the way it is, people don't put too much effort into being original because all the equipment basically does the same thing. So when you deal with rap coming out of a computer box, there's only so many presets that will make you different. So when it becomes easier, you start kicking out your A&R, you start kicking out your video director, you start kicking this out and you think you can do it by yourself, it will lessen the value of what it's worth. Because a lot of people that were big artists, there were more than 10, 20 people behind that artist. So when you get rid of, I always say this, when you get rid of the wolf, it changes the world. Because the wolf will change the ecosystem. If you kill the wolf, then the deers run crazy. So the system has killed the wolves. So right now the industry is just full of rabbits and stuff that don't kill nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just jumping around and wanting attention with no base value. You know what I'm saying? They just doing it because they know. When we did it, we didn't do it because it made money. We did it because it made us have a voice. And don't get me wrong, there are new artists out that I do like. But there's more artists out that don't like rap. They want to do their own. But they're using rap to change what we already made. And if they don't know what we already made, you know, that's like me and you going to buy a Rolls Royce. But you want to put a Volvo, you know what I'm saying, logo on it. You know what I'm saying? You want to change it to fit you, but it's going to make the Rolls Royce not as valuable.
Yeah. Because Scarface said it the best in one of his interview. Like all these major labels are run by some old white people that never knew about the ghetto,
Right.
that never knew about the welfare, that never knew about the struggle of the black man in these streets. Running a major label, and there's no way you can tell me this old man gonna tell me what's hot and what's not.
Right.
So that's like a conspiracy.
It's their game. Like I said, it's their game. You could do it on your own, but it's their game. That the road is already paved with Sony Records. The road is already paved with Warner Brothers. You know, but once again, like I said, you got to follow direction before you be a boss. So they don't know about the music, the white people that own the labels, but at the end of the day, they got the money and they have the situation for your record to get played. So if you know how to get your record played without the white people, so be it. Shoot for the stars. But a lot of people need that process to be able to learn how to make your own road, how to be your own Berry Gordy, how to be your own Dick Griffey, how to be your own Suge Knight. You know, they definitely needed them white people too. But they definitely made it feel easier to be in the shoes of a CEO, you know. So you still got to learn from them. You can't just kick them out. Because once again, a lot of the rappers kick the white people out, and then guess what happens next year? Now you in tax evasion. Now you in trouble. Now you don't know how to, find the right accountant. Now you behind in whatever you're doing because you shook the structure to be original. And if you want to be so original, sometimes that takes away from the creativity of what was already there. You feel me? Like what was already there. You can't repave the road. You gotta put your stuff on the road and hope that you can make something out of it. because they're never going to let you have a road. Never.
We're trying to bring the whole world together by this through this documentary. We have like African American, European artists, everybody together, trying to bridge the gap, and all of us together on one stage with one voice, so we can speak to the whole world together to show that this is what we all have in common, and make it easier for some collabo from artists from different continents, with artists from different continents or different countries. Enough collaboration is enough money. Enough money is enough. You come out here, I'll go over there, he's go up. On and on and on. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's good to merge, different genres, not general, but just different nationalities. But that's not a but. We have to have some structure on who's going to spearhead it and who's going to be the leader. Too many leaders turn into people just going all kind of different directions. Now, if we build a unity of a stamp, or you remember they had the, what do you call it, the parental advisory stamp, remember? Now, what if we get a dope stamp? So it's almost like rated R, you know what I'm saying? Or a rated J. And then we only can let the people in with the rated J. Then we can start separating the good from the bad, because everybody else is just wanting to do rap to make money, not make rap to keep the genre going. So if we figure out who's going to be the leaders, we go back to the Melly Males and, like you said, the Kumo D's and and hear their opinion and hear how they feel where it's going. They might be able to teach us how to make it keep going, because they are the ones that actually started it. So I would love to hear those OGs give these young dudes some advice, because the young dudes is doing it on the old dudes' shoulders, dead up. You feel me? That's facts. But now, just because you closer to the sky, that don't mean you don't have to follow the rules. So when the rappers and artists, when they leave record companies, they don't have to follow the rules no more. And usually when you don't follow rules, you shoot from the hip. That's not good. You have to do in preparation. So we need a union that can make sure that you can go to a place or go to the internet, go anywhere, and get a certain supply of music, and we don't support that. We don't support that, not what I'm talking about, but we don't support what a lot of people are doing. They're just being shock value. And if shock value is what you're going to do, that should be a category. It shouldn't just be hip-hop. Hip-hop should have a stamp on it, and you can go there, just like you go to a movie thing and buy movies. You can go to the PG-13, and you can go to the G-rated. You can go to the X-rated. That's over there behind that black curtain. Everybody know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it should be built like that. Like life should be built like that with rap music. It should be back to diversifying rap, because now it's all in one box. And the best thing back in the day is when we was diversified. You had an MC Hammer over here. You know what I'm saying? You had Arrested Development over here. You had a E40 over here. You had UGK over here, Too Short. Scarface. But now everybody is using the same stuff. So we need to diversify it again, so the people that are good can see the light, and they just don't flood the market with nonsense.
Do you think that the language can be a barrier?
Depending on what you're talking about.
The language, for example, we from Senegal, we speak Wolof. A lot of people that listen to hip hop over there, they love the music, but they don't understand English.
They understand.
They understand the vibes, but not the words that is being said.
Hey, if I got mad at you right now in English, you would understand.
Okay.
I didn't travel the world. Me and my people, we were just talking about that. It was a dude that I was at a liquor store by my house, and I went to say something, and the dude leaned over and said something to a dude in another language. I said, we can say that outside though. No. We could say what you just said. I don't know what he said, but it just didn't sound cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then maybe like a few months or whatever later, my birthday had came up. He gave me a bottle. You know why he gave me a bottle? Because he was saying some bullshit. So
Okay.
I went to France. I remember we was in France. And we sitting out, so we listening. They banging. I'm listening. You know when you're in a club, you hear that double echo kind of thing. So I'm thinking it's me. But then I get up there, they foosty, fussy, foosty, dirt. So it's the attitude. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can tell if that attitude is something you want to be a part of. Just the way they act. You feel me? Like they swag, your get down. Like it was funny. We was in Copenhagen. And then they was playing the cursing version. We was like, hey, you know, we got a clean version. It's like, don't worry about it. They don't understand it. They don't understand. It's fuck shit. Fuck a motherfucker. Shut up. And I'm like, wow. But then you go to the concert and the people like, they talking their language. But you don't like how I'm living well? Fuck you. They understand that. They understand what fuck you mean.
Yeah.
You understand that all over the world.
Do you think that what do I wanna call it? Do you think that beef is really necessary for hip hop to grow up?
Yes.
Beef.
Beef, dissing. The diss rap is the realest rap. The person that don't like you usually says the realest shit about you. Ain't nobody gonna lie on you saying you rich. Like, you feel me? Like, the dopest shit is when you can pull a person card. But that's me going back to saying we need generals. We need to regulate it. And rap music came from competition. It came from the park. It came from having a better rap. You know, that came from, back to Oakland. You know, the rap, having a good rap with a female. So if a dude had a better rap than you got to go home and practice. You know what I'm saying? So beef is real healthy for rap. But when it gets out of control, once again,
That's what I wanted to say. Do we have to keep it on wax, or does it have to be personal?
I believe if you get personal, you're losing. If you know how to put a simile with a metaphor and a 4-bar, a 3-bar, a 3, what is it? A 3, what's the word? What did I say? I lost track of it. Syllables. You know, you got 4 or 5 syllables, but then you like fuck your mom. Like that's not dope. That's not dope. I mean, it's a shot, but the shot value is not dope.
I say it all the time. I don't understand how fuck your mama can be hip hop. What is hip hop into that line? Fuck your mama.
Well, when you start doing hip hop, there's an unsigned contract of what you don't talk about, what we don't talk about. We don't bring up other stuff. We don't bring up gay people. We don't talk about moms. We don't talk about other people's nationality. That's when you get into rhymes. When your rhymes start going there, it's going to be shock value now. And now you're just looking for somebody just to say something against you rather than to say it with you. You know what I'm saying?
And when it escalates, it's not good.
Well, you can stand on the corner and yell, I love you all day. That's your job. Mm-hmm. But you can also yell, fuck you all day. You're going to get a response from it. That's facts.
Just deal with it.
I mean, you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
If you show brothers, if you out there with a bullhorn, say, I love you, people going, I love you too. But you get out there with some fuck this, y'all tripping, well, fuck you. So this is the energy. This is how all of us can be psychic. I can tell an ass whooping is coming. I can predict it.
Okay.
In rhyme. I can tell when a person gets a little out of line. I was like, that sounds like a tall can ass whooping. You know? You can't talk to your mom or talk to your older uncles with that fly talk. You usually get socked up. So if you want to take it there to get socked up, you might not want to get into the battle rap. That's grown man sport.
Yeah. What they call it? The whole world is watching right now. If you have the message for the youth today that really want to get into the rap game to have a career, with everything that's going on right now, what would be your message to them?
Have an opinion. Have an opinion. And stick to your guns. You can change it and adjust it, but have your own opinion. We was talking about this the other day with me and one of my guys, and we were talking about why I don't like rappers, some rappers. And you need to stick to the young guys, or find some new people, Jinx. But my situation is not that they new, it's that they're being repetitive and they're doing something else. The people I work with, they're one of one. You feel me? So to work with new people, they gotta have their own opinion. I don't care what it is. I mean, a lot of stuff is going on in music, but you have to stick to your ground. And you have to believe it. Most good rappers are still rapping the same way. I'm going to keep bringing up OG Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Dogg believes what he's stuck with it. He didn't change. Then you got other people that might find God, and then they want to change. Now, that's cool, too. But at the end of the day, you changed on me. You can be God on your own time. But give me what I had over here. So with the new rappers that's come out, just believe what you say and say what you believe.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. One last question. What's the most dangerous thing about this music industry? One.
Their creativity. Their creativity was all based on being high, and you can't repeat being high. You just keep looking for the same high, but you can't repeat it. You can't repeat being high, and being high, and not just high like it's weed. I'm talking about the real guys. Like back in the day, coke and all that was like frowned upon. Crack and sherm and PCP and meth, that was all frowned upon. But now you making music based on that drug, that music is not going to keep going because it'd be impossible to recreate it. You can't recreate that feeling. So sometime when I'm drinking, I've learned, what I'm saying? I'm a little older. So I rather enjoy my music high than make my music high. If that makes sense. Because I won't remember it making it high. So I think one of the bad things of hip hop music,
the most dangerous thing, yeah.
One of the most dangerous things is that they merge the dope dealers with the rappers. So the drugs is gonna kill hip hop because the drugs make them fight.